There's a moment when you stumble upon a tool so sharp, so precise, that even the toughest special forces operators pause and nod with a mix of respect and caution. Imagine holding something in your hands that's not just metal, but history, stealth, and pure lethal efficiency rolled into one. This isn't just any knife. It's the V42 Stiletto, a blade that's whispered about in barracks and training halls alike. Soldiers would glance at it and think, yeah, you don't want to mess with this. The air almost changes when it's around, as if the blade itself demands discipline and awareness. Now, picture the moment you're on a mission. Darkness all around, tension thick enough to cut with a knife, and this very blade feels like an extension of your instincts, slicing through hesitation like it's nothing. It's not flashy. It doesn't roar. It doesn't need to. Its power is quiet, calculated, and unforgettable. Today, you're stepping into a story that's more than steel. It's about respect, fear, and legacy. This is the V42 Stiletto, a knife that didn't just exist. It commanded attention. And here's the kicker. While most tools are just tools, this one carved its name into the annals of combat history. Every edge, every point, every flick of the wrist tells a story soldiers pass down in hushed tones. It's lethal, yes, but it's also a teacher. And as we dive deeper, you'll see why it became legendary, why it's feared and admired in equal measure, and why holding one even in thought makes you rethink what it truly means to be ready. Back in the heat of World War II, the U.S. commandos needed more than just courage. They needed a weapon that could whisper through the shadows and strike with absolute precision. That's where the V42 Stiletto came in. Crafted specifically for stealth operations, this knife wasn't just metal. It was a carefully engineered extension of the soldier's instincts. Every curve, every point was designed to cut decisively and silently, making it perfect for the covert missions these operators faced night after night. Soldiers quickly realized that handling it wasn't just a skill, it was an art. It didn't take long for the blade to earn its reputation. Among the men who trained with it, whispers circulated. This isn't just sharp, it's lethal intelligence in steel form. The V42 didn't screen danger. It projected a quiet confidence that only the most disciplined could wield effectively. Tales of its effectiveness spread quickly, carried from one soldier to another, building an almost mythical status that made even seasoned operatives pause in awe. It became a symbol of precision and deadly focus, feared and respected in equal measure. And while today we look back at photographs of commandos with that knife strapped to their belts, we have to imagine the tension in those moments. Plans unfolding in secrecy, life or death stakes, and the stiletto in hand, silently guiding the operator. It was more than a weapon. It was a trusted companion in the shadows. And as we move forward, we'll dive into exactly what made its design so perfectly suited for lethal efficiency. Imagine a moment when you hold a blade so precise that even the most experienced Special Forces operators from the 1st Special Service Force, FSSF, famously known as the Devil's Brigade, pause with respect and caution. It's 1942, in the midst of World War II, and this elite combined American-Canadian unit required silent, deadly tools for infiltration and close-quarters combat. The V42 Stiletto wasn't just a knife. It was an extension of a soldier's instinct, meticulously designed for high-risk missions in harsh terrain and extreme winter conditions. Every curve of the blade and the stacked leather handle reflected the need for control, precision, and silent lethality qualities that every FSS operative depended on to survive. Picture these soldiers preparing for a night mission behind enemy lines. Maps spread across tables, whispered plans exchanged among comrades, and the V42 Stiletto secured at the belt. This wasn't a casual tool. It was a weapon that transformed fear into discipline, hesitation into immediate action. Whether in Anzio, Italy, or during intense mountain training in Montana, Every member of the Devil's Brigade knew that mastering this blade meant life or death. The knife became a symbol of courage, skill, and precision, with stories passed down through generations, solidifying the FSSF's legendary reputation in every covert operation they undertook. Beyond its lethality, the V42 carried a historical legacy. Among American and Canadian soldiers, it was referred to as a steel incarnation of lethal intelligence, perfectly complementing the unit's training. Its symmetrical, balanced design allowed rapid, efficient thrusts, essential for stealth missions and close combat, while the stacked leather handle ensured a firm grip even in adverse conditions. Every operator who held it understood this was more than a knife. It was precision engineering fused with the bravery of an elite force, cementing the Devil's Brigade's prestige and making the V42 a legendary weapon of World War II. The V42 Stiletto's design is where function meets deadly elegance. Its symmetrical, double-edged blade wasn't just for show. It allowed soldiers to make lightning-fast thrusts without worrying about repositioning. The weight was perfectly balanced, making the knife feel like an extension of the hand rather than a separate object. Imagine moving through a dark alley or a dense forest. Every flick, every jab is precise, calculated, almost instinctual. For those trained with it, the blade became a natural part of their movements, a partner in silent efficiency. Comparing it to other knives of the era, the V42 stands out instantly. While many blades were bulky or focused on slashing, this one prioritized speed, control, and penetration. Operators who trained with both types would tell you that there's a rhythm to the V42. Almost like a dance, each movement flows seamlessly into the next, giving you an edge in close combat that feels effortless but deadly. It wasn't just sharp. It was smart, anticipating the user's intentions. Even the handle tells a story. Made of stacked leather washers, it offered grip under wet or slippery conditions, something that could easily be the difference between life and death during a mission. Soldiers often personalized their knives, adding minor carvings or adjustments to make it feel uniquely theirs. Every detail, from blade to handle, was optimized for the unforgiving conditions of covert operations, setting it apart as not only a weapon, but a carefully engineered tool of survival. Imagine the tension of a night mission behind enemy lines, where every sound is amplified and every shadow could hide danger. In these moments, the V42 Stiletto became more than a knife. It was a lifeline. Operators trained extensively to use it silently, striking with precision when stealth was everything. Maps sprawled on tables, whispered plans between comrades, and the stiletto ready at the belt, waiting for the exact moment it was needed. Its design allowed for quick, instinctual action that could decide the outcome of a mission. Historical accounts tell stories of commandos using it in tight quarters, hallways, and dense terrain, where firearms might be too loud or impractical. One operator reportedly neutralized a threat with a single decisive thrust, relying on years of training paired with the knife's precision. In covert operations, the stiletto became almost legendary, respected not just for its lethality, but for how it complemented a soldier's skill, intuition, and timing. It wasn't brute force. It was calculated, controlled, and devastating. Even in training scenarios, soldiers learned to navigate obstacles, react to sudden threats, and coordinate movements with this blade in hand. Small maps, strategic layouts, and tactical drills reinforced muscle memory, ensuring that the stiletto was second nature when it truly mattered. Every edge, every angle of the knife had been tested in practice and perfected for operational readiness. And as we explore further, we'll all see why this level of respect and caution extended beyond missions into the broader perception of the knife itself. Even though the V42 Stiletto was never officially banned, its reputation alone kept it in check. Soldiers knew that this wasn't a knife for casual carry or showing off. It was a tool of precision, reserved for missions where life and death balanced on a knife edge. The blade demanded respect, and those who handled it understood the responsibility that came with its lethal potential. Carrying it casually wasn't just unnecessary, it was reckless. The aura around the knife grew with every operation and story passed down through generations. Tales of its effectiveness circulated in whispers. How one precise strike could neutralize a threat in seconds. How it turned even the most tense encounters into controlled outcomes for those who were skilled enough. That fear mixed with admiration created a kind of informal restriction. No one would carry it lightly, and every operator approached it with calculated reverence. And it wasn't just about respect in the field. The very presence of the stiletto in an operator's hand sent a subtle message. This is a professional tool, not a toy. Soldiers understood instinctively that its value was in the right hands, during the right moment, under the right circumstances. It wasn't banned, but no one carried it for fun. This was a deadly tool in capable hands. Became the silent rule whispered among units, setting the stage for its legendary status. When you put the V42 Stiletto side by side with other iconic knives, like the Fairburn Sykes, its uniqueness really stands out. While both were designed for stealth and combat efficiency, the Stiletto excelled in speed and precision, making it a favorite for operators who valued agility over brute force. Soldiers often commented that holding it felt like holding confidence itself, a subtle extension of their skill and training, rather than just a blade of steel. Curiosity also surrounds the personal touches soldiers added to their stilettos. Some carved initials into the leather handle, others added small engravings to mark victories or missions completed. These tweaks didn't just personalize the knife, they forged a psychological connection, reinforcing the bond between operator and tool. Every scratch, every mark became part of the knife's story, blending history with personal legacy in ways few other weapons could match. Even decades later, the V42 retains its legendary aura. Collectors, historians, and enthusiasts still marvel at its design and purpose. Its influence echoes in modern combat knives and in the stories of special forces worldwide. Handling one, even as a replica, evokes respect and curiosity, reminding us that this wasn't just a knife, it was a precise, intelligent instrument that demanded reverence and discipline, a perfect prelude to understanding its lasting legacy. The V42 Stiletto isn't just a blade, it's a symbol of precision, control, and silent respect in the world of combat. Holding it, studying it, or even imagining its weight in your hand reminds you that true power often lies in discipline and mastery, not sheer force. Its legacy continues to inspire collectors, historians, and special forces enthusiasts alike, proving that some tools transcend time and become legends. Think about how every edge, every design choice, and every story behind the stiletto reflects an unwavering commitment to skill and preparation. That's a lesson you can carry with you. Precision, respect, and awareness are tools in themselves, not just in combat, but in everyday challenges. Even decades later, its reputation teaches what it means to handle power responsibly and with intent. So if you want to dive deeper into the history of iconic blades, like the V42, explore the stories of the soldiers who wielded them, and learn from their legacy. Leave a comment, share your thoughts, and check out links to historical analyses and collectibles. The journey doesn't end here. It is just the beginning of understanding what it truly means to respect and master a tool that commands attention.